Hey, is chambering your fist a useless, pointless, antiquated exercise, or the secret to putting more power in your punches? I'm Lee, this is Mantis Mechanics, and why do we chamber our fists? Okay, so why do traditional martial artists chamber their fist, either here or down here? Doesn't matter which one. That's not the point of discussion today. But why do they chamber? Almost every traditional martial art does this. But why? Obviously, if you're fighting and you're putting your hands here when you punch, you're going to open yourself to get hit. And that's so, even on somebody who's never studied martial arts can tell if you're getting ready to fight and you do this, you're going to get punched in the face. So the old masters must have realized that. So why do they teach this? Were they just crazy and they didn't even care about fighting? Or were they practicing something that was going to give you tons of power? Okay, so first we're going to talk a little bit about what chambering the fist does with the body. Okay, specifically the shoulder. When we chamber the fist, like I said, it doesn't matter up here or down here, we're externally rotating the shoulder. So when my hand is forward, like in a punch, my shoulder is rolled forward or internally rotated. As I pull it in, my shoulder pulls back, okay? So that's going to be very important. If you are a boxer or you do Muay Thai or MMA or any of those things, and you're always in here and you're always punching, they don't chamber. They're just practicing like this all the time. Then they go sit at a computer like this. After that, they go to the gym and they take 225 and they bench it out, okay? And maybe they say, hey, I don't need to do back. I only care, we only care about the muscles you can see. Those nice, sexy muscles, right? Like you want to have the big chest, the bulging biceps, the six-pack. So nobody looks at my back. Why work out the back? Well, it's very important because if you're doing this all the time, and being like this is okay. The shoulder's protecting the jaw. That's a good position, right, for fighting. But if you stay like this, then you do your bench press, and then you're on the computer like this, guess what? Over time, your shoulders are going to round, and you're going to become kyphotic, and you're going to get pain in your neck and in your upper back, which is going to transfer to your lower back. You're going to have shoulder problems, right? All these things are going to come from having that bad posture. So the old masters, when they practiced, they knew to fight like this with your hands up. But when they practiced, they did this, right? Because it externally rotates the shoulder and it keeps you, every time you push, you're pulling, right? So if I punch, I internally rotate the shoulder, then I externally rotate it. So I'm working them out evenly. So we go back to the boxer. He's always internally rotating. When he goes to the gym, you should go to the machine, like the rower, and pull. Do some pulling exercise. Since they're always pushing, they need to do some pulling, right? Very important, like rows, whatever they need to do, whatever exercise, there's a ton of them, but they need to do some pulling to counteract all that pushing that they're doing constantly, right? If you just work out one side of your body, it's not good. Okay, it's going to be very bad. Same thing, if you work out the back too much and you never push, that's not good either. Okay, but more normally we don't have that problem. Most people will have the problem of always being in front of themselves, not being behind. Okay, so, but this video was all about power. So how does that have anything to do with power? And I don't care about posture, right? Posture's, that's for old people. Old people care about posture. Why should I care about that now? And that could be a good point. But this also adds tons of power and snap to your punches. So when I chamber my fists, okay, and I punch, okay, one is always pushing and the other one, in this case my left side, is pulling. So when I punch, now my left side is punching, right, or pushing, and my right side is pulling, right? And it goes on and on. So every time there's a punch or a push, let's call this a push, there's a pull with this hand. So when I punch, right, I'm not only pushing out or punching out, I'm also pulling in, right? And some people will say, oh, well, because you're grabbing the person and you're pulling them into your punch, it increases the power of the punch, which is true. But if you've ever been in a real fight, it is very hard to grab somebody and pull them in and punch them. It's not an easy thing to do. And I think the masters would have realized that very well. I don't think that's why. It might be one of the reasons, but it's probably way down on the bottom of why they chamber their fists. What you are doing, if I can turn around here, every time I chamber my shoulder blades, if you see I'm out and then I chamber in, my shoulder blades start moving towards my spine. They start doing this. They start pinching back. Okay? It's very important. So if I'm here and I'm punching with my right and my left chambers, right, my shoulder is coming back. Okay? So normally when somebody punches, they think about pushing off that leg, straining the knee, extending it through the hips, coming through the shoulders, and turning and punching, something like this. So if I'm throwing that right punch, I'm only caring about what my right side of my body is doing. I'm not really paying attention to my left. And if I turn my shoulder back like this, right, I'm thinking about my left side turning back, but really, that's just my hips moving. It's not getting my whole body involved. If, for example, though, I punch and I start thinking of taking that shoulder and pinching it towards my spine or bringing it back, doing this, if you can see that, right? I'm pinching it back as I punch, okay? That's going to add snap and power to my punch a lot, okay? I want you to stop right now and go find a pad, go find a boxing bag, go find anything that you can hit, and I want you to punch it and retract your shoulder as you do it, right? And see how much more power you get into your punch, okay? So again, there's that pulling motion. Obviously, you're not doing this with your hand, right? You're not moving like this. You're not going to do something weird like this. You're not going to chamber. You still want your hand to protect you. But as you punch, you're just doing that motion of externally rotating, if you could see that, the shoulder. My hand still protecting my face. If you see, it stays right in the same spot. It's my shoulder. It might move a little bit, but it's staying here. It's not doing this. It's not doing this. It's not dropping. It's staying in here. So as I punch, I'm retracting that shoulder. It's going to add a ton of power to your punch. Okay? This is Mantis Mechanics. We'll see you guys next time.